Voyce. I'm here with Alanna for Rising Star. I'm a Montreal Canadian Nigerian artist, and I'm a musician, and I'm excited to do this.
Amazing. I'm excited to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I like to start my interviews with rapid fire questions. They're silly.
Oh, right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
There we go.
If you could be an animal for a day, which one would you be and why?
Okay, well, it's gonna be an animal that's not even real, but a phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love the idea of a phoenix, of rebirth, of just dying and coming back better and stronger than before. The whole resurrection idea of just repurposing yourself and rebuilding yourself better. So yeah, phoenix.
You've thought about this question. Definitely.
Maybe.
Maybe. You wake up in the morning and think, what do I want to be today? If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, if I had any superpower, honestly, it would be telekinesis. The idea of being able to manipulate everything, because first of all, if you have telekinesis, you can also fly because you can manipulate yourself. So really, it's multiple powers in one. So telekinesis.
Yeah, we love it. 2, 3, 4 in one. And what is your favorite city in the world?
Ooh, favorite city in the world. I want to say it's Tokyo, even though I've never been to Tokyo, but I grew up on anime. And so I just have this idea in my brain of what Tokyo is. I plan on visiting either this year or next year. So we'll see if that changes. I doubt it, because it's just a city in my mind that I've built up to be something.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do this interview again in 2 years.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what?
see if it's good. So about your music, your new song "Scream." Can you tell us just a little bit about the thought process you were going through when you wrote it and produced all of it?
Yeah, when I was working on the song "Scream," to be honest, I was just going through a point in my career where I felt like a lot of people were trying to tell me who I'm supposed to be, trying to tell me what voice, no pun intended, I'm supposed to have, and what messages and what kind of songs and this and that. And I just kind of felt like people were trying to break away at my integrity, all in the name of money, trying to strip me away from all the things that are me, all in the name of money. And I got tired, and annoyed, and I just wanted to say something about that. And so I just knew I needed to make a song about it. It just kind of just took over me. So I just started, working on the song, and the music just kind of came out of that emotion, that very frustrated place. The theme being, I will not surrender, or give, or hurt my integrity, not for all the money in the world. And as I was making the song, I realized that it was drawing many parallels to Michael Jackson's song of the same name, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson song of the same name, "Scream," from 1990, I want to say 5 or 3. I realized in that moment that I was making a song that was in many ways an ode to their song, while also being a song that I needed to make. So it pays homage to my favorite artists, and at the same time helps me release what was inside me.
Amazing. Yeah, you can hear the anger and frustration in it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing is created, so it's nice.
Yeah.
And can you talk about, you just said 2 of your favorite artists, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. Can you talk about their influence on you in your music?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a household where Michael Jackson was played a lot. My mom was a massive fan of Michael Jackson, and so I grew up hearing his music a lot. And so very quickly, I started to sing like Michael, because you hear him all the time. And my mom loved him so much, and as a kid, you look up to your parents, and I just saw how much she admired him. So I wanted to be like Michael. I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to be able to have people, respond to me in the same way she, responded to his music. And then I'd watch his shows, his performances, and people would literally faint at the way he was portraying his emotions. And I just wanted to be able to do that. And then, when Janet Jackson came on the scene, I mean, she was already on the scene, but I learned about Janet Jackson as well. I just thought it was really cool that here are these two siblings that were making music. And then, when they made the song "Scream" together, it was like the ultimate, like, collaboration of all time for me. It was just like Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson on the same song. That's so cool. So yeah, they're just such powerful artists. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, their family parties must be so cool.
Would have been. Yeah, it must have been.
You just got to my next question, but I was going to ask what inspired you to want to be a music artist. So was there anything besides growing up listening to Michael Jackson? Was there
Yeah,
any
I mean
part?
I mean that was kind of the genesis of me wanting to be an artist. But and I knew I wanted to make music, but when I was younger in my mind, it really was like, oh, this is so cool, and I want to do this, and I knew I had this natural talent, so I wanted to just pursue it. But that was the extent of it. I was one of those kids that wanted to be famous, like I
Mm.
just want to be famous and sing. And it's when my mom passed away, 10 years ago now. She passed away, if not more. That I, for the first time, turned to music as something more than just something I could do. It was a way to save myself from a very, very dark place I was in. I turned to music as a way to release everything that was inside me, all the pain, all the anger, all the confusion. And I started to share that with the world. But for me at that point, it really was something I was doing for myself. I needed to let this out because I felt like if I didn't, I would choke on everything that was, just festering inside me. And when I started to share that with the world, people started to resonate and tell me that, my music was helping them in their own dark places. And it made me realize that music was a lot more than just something I could do. It was a way for me to not just release what was inside me, but also something that could connect me with others and make others feel like they're not alone.
Beautiful. Yeah, the power of music, truly.
Yeah, absolutely.
How would you describe your sound in 5 words or less to someone who had never heard you before?
Um, Emotional. I'd say emotional and true to myself. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah. Is
Nice.
that 5 words? Emotional, true to myself. Yes.
Yeah, you got
No,
it.
wait. Emotional and true to myself. Myself is one word.
Yeah,
It's
myself
not.
is one word. So I was lurking your Instagram,
Yeah.
as one does in this day and age. And you and your partner seem very close from what I've seen you guys' videos together. And would you have any advice for people, relationship advice essentially, for two people trying to make themselves a career, make themselves alive? How do you guys stay good together?
It's a lot of communication. To be honest, when my partner, or her name's Aura Marza, when we first started seeing each other, it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit, and then we quickly moved in with each other because it was either that or we don't see each other at all. So our relationship went from like 0 to 100 real quick. And up until that point, I had been essentially single for a long time. I didn't want to get into anything serious, so I would kind of have little flings here and there, but I didn't want anything serious. And here comes along this amazing person, and I knew something about her just made me go like, "There's something more here than I've allowed myself to explore before," and I wasn't ready to just let that go. But it also meant I needed to do a lot of growing really quickly.
Mm.
And with her, I learned to learn to navigate my own traumas, because that's something I never really dealt with. I had a lot of traumas in my life, and I didn't really deal with them. And when we got together and we started living together, all those traumas started to come to the surface. And she helped me navigate them. She helped me face them rather than run away from them, which is what I had been doing for a long time. Um, so I think that's it. I think it's a lot of communication, but also being honest with yourself and being willing to put in the work, not just to help both of you grow, but also dig deep into yourself and help yourself grow. Because until you are able to face yourself in the mirror and confront yourself, it'll be hard for you to truly give yourself to someone else.
Yeah, very well said. Very
Thank you.
well said. Is there anything specific that either you or your partner helped you with when dealing with trauma? Like anything specific that happened or that you did?
Well, I think first, because we're both very artistic beings, and we give each other room to explore ourselves and discover ourselves. And that's, I think that for me is the most important thing, is giving the other person that breathing room to like dive into themselves and being open to the idea that you need to explore your mental health. I think a lot of people see the whole idea of mental health as just very taboo thing, and it's not real, but it's a real thing. And it's, when you're around people that don't see it as something to explore, then it's easy for you to get lost in yourself. But when you're around people that give you that freedom to look into yourself and be introspective and also seek counsel, it goes a long way in helping you balance yourself.
For sure. For sure. On that same sort of note, and same note about me lurking your Instagram, you're besides music, you seem very like into activism and philanthropy. Is there any specific things you feel very passionate about? Any movements happening right now? Any or just anything?
Honestly, I'm very empathetic. So whenever I see suffering and pain, it's just it hits me in a way that I don't know. I don't know if it's normal. I don't know what the who's to say what is normal,
What
but
is
it hits
normal?
me
What is
really.
normal?
What is normal? But it really hits me, and so a lot of people have these platforms of social media. I'm lucky I got to the point where I'm at, where I'm seen as someone that's a public figure and I have a voice, and I want to use that, again, no pun intended, but I want to use that voice to say more than just, hey, go buy this cup, like, or like, hey,
Mhm.
go buy this shirt because this brand gave it to me. I want to use my voice to remind people that they are more than they think they are, that we are omnipotent, and also want to use my voice to spread the right messages, and do something positive. And so really it's as long as I it's there's humanity behind it, or even just animal activism. I'll be honest, I love animals. But as long as I can use my platform to say something that makes a difference, then I will. I absolutely will. And so there's no limit to what I will say.
Nice. I love transparency was also one of my questions, just discussing the importance of transparency and what it means to you and to your fans. But
Yeah.
I think you just touched on it. If you want, you keep beating me to my questions.
I'm so sorry.
I guess you
Reading your
wrote.
mind.
But yeah. So what what image do you want to portray to your fans when someone sees you? What do you hope they get out of your music and who you are as a person?
I just want people to know that there's a real person that is doing this. Like, I'm not some commodity that was manufactured, that, like, I'm not some unattainable goal. Because I know when I was growing up and I was watching a lot of these artists, there was a big disconnect between the fans and the artists. It's almost like, oh, the celebrities are so impossible to reach. They're so far away. And like, you have to be, born under the right circumstances, under the right moon, and under the right star to, like, ever, achieve something like that in your life. And I want you to realize, like, no, I'm just a regular person that had a dream and was relentless, and has been through a whole lot. And I've faced darkness, I've faced great moments, I've been lost, I've been found, and but I'm a real person, and I want people to know that I'm real. It's not magic. That's the lesson, and what I want people to get out of me and my music is that there's a real person here, and I'm just like everyone, trying to find my purpose all day, every day,
All the time.
all day, every day.
So talking about relentlessly chasing your dream, what do you wish someone would have told you when you first started deciding like, you were going to pursue music?
um,
Or what would you tell someone?
I think it's a lot of the times we get in our own way. A lot of the fears and misconceptions we have, they're our own projections, and a lot of time we put our own self-imposed barriers because we tell ourselves, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve that because it's so impossible, and so we just don't do it. And that's one thing I learned over time, is that a lot of those fears come from a fear of failure. But failure isn't even bad. In fact, I see failure as a good thing now, because every time I fail, I go, okay, what is it that didn't work? Let's find a way to massage that, and do it better. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I would want someone to tell me when I was younger that don't think of failure as the end of the road. See failure as just like a way to really manifest what you want. That failure is just the beginning. It's nowhere near the end.
Yeah, failure is kind of just something kicking you in the butt, forcing you to go forward.
Yeah. It also helps you hone yourself, and it's just, something, you did something and didn't work out the first time. Don't worry about it. You're gonna figure it out eventually.
Hmm. What was the hardest lesson you feel like you've had to learn as an artist?
And honestly, it was loss. Losing my mom was the single hardest thing that I've ever dealt with in my life. But also, it's, in a way, it's what made me. Like I don't know if I'd be the same artist I am today if it wasn't for that loss that really grounded me. I may have continued to pursue music with that idea of, oh, I want to be an artist because fame, like now it's more like I want to make music because it one makes me happy, and two, it's a way for me to release emotions, and I'm also connecting with the world. So there's a lot more purpose to what I do now than, as opposed to before, where it really was, I hate to say it, a little egotistical.
It's okay. It's okay. It's good to know that you're growing every day.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all different. Well, ideally, we'll all be different than we were today, as we were yesterday.
Absolutely.
What would you say your biggest accomplishment is thus far?
My biggest accomplishment. I will. I mean, there's a few things, but to be honest, it's when I started to release music, and when I was going through my dark place and people reached out to me. I remember people reaching out to me saying things like they're in such a dark place and they were feeling suicidal, because I've been there, and my music helped them off the ledge, so to speak. And I think that for me will be forever the greatest accomplishment, is being able to help someone, whichever way, in whichever way. Accolades and all those things are cool, but knowing that you made a difference in someone's life, for me, is what truly matters.
Is huge, for sure. How can someone make a difference in your life? How can someone come into your life and help you?
I think like moments like these, like connecting with really awesome people that want to see you succeed. It's a beautiful thing. It's we live in a world where a lot of times it's easy to be pessimistic, and then but when you meet people that want to see you succeed as much as you want to see yourself succeed, and at the same time you want to see them succeed, that's awesome. So yeah, I think moments like these are the kind of gifts that keep me really going.
Oh, well, I'm grateful.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that, and that's really what Rising Star is all about, is focusing on rising stars and supporting musicians in any way we can, in every way we can. So I'm glad to see that.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. We appreciate you back. My final question is, what's next? What are upcoming projects?
So what's next? Apart from music, I mean, obviously the next releases, planning shows for the summer and all that fun stuff. I've been, as you probably see on my Instagram, acting is also a big facet of my being. So I want to even explore that more. Prior to the pandemic, I had been casting a few things. The pandemic kind of shut those down. I'm hoping that they pick back up soon again, so they can get back into that. But really, just exploring all facets of creativity, from music to film, whatever the case is, and just finding new and more adventurous outlets to challenge myself.
Nice. That's exciting. You said all that fun jazz about summer shows, but do you have any planned yet?
So the summer shows we're working on. So I'll tell you, I mean, I've said this before in maybe one other interview, but I'm toying with the idea of either releasing more singles one at a time, or actually putting out an album this summer. I'm at that place now where I'm kind of going like, do I want to do more singles or an album? I don't know. So I'm playing around with that, but it's kind of fun time because I get to experiment in the studio and just kind of create things. But I do have the next song. I'll tell you the name. It's a song called Time. It's a more emotionally driven storyline. I'll tell you the plot. It's the story of a man who's reached he's older in his life, and he's looking back in life and wondering where time went. So that's the next song. It features a very amazing artist called Claudia Lenti, but you'll see more about that in the next month or so.
Did you read, I'm trying to think of the name, The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom back in
No, but I've heard a lot of things about it, and I should.
That's the plot, essentially.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, on behalf of the Rising Star team, thank you. And we look forward to continuing to seeing you rise. And I look forward to the new music and hearing Time.